period of remembrance for Black Americans and their history, as it serves a anniversary towards a lot of important events in Black America. These events such as the Haiti Revolution, the death of W.E.B. Du Bois, the founding of the Underground Railroad, and also the assassination of George Jackson. And this is meant to serve as a period where we can reflect and also organize over the racial disparities that still oppress us today. April 15th, 2018 becomes another reminder of the horrendous conditions our fellow workers must suffer. And I say our fellow workers and not prisoners because that is what they are, our fellow workers.
Very similar struggles. And on April 15th, 7 inmates lost their lives in a bloody prison riot. However, this implies an agenda, the word riot. It is more of a fully preventable escalation of tension. 7:30 p.m. marks the beginning of this escalation, and yet no guards had made it into the holding until 11:30. After this event, the JLS, or the Jailhouse Lawyer Speaks, decided to expedite their prison strike that they had already planned for next year to capitalize on the momentum. They chose the anniversary of George Jackson as the beginning of the strike to commemorate his time as a prison slavery abolitionist. George Jackson was sentenced in 1971 at the age of 18 to a year in prison, yet ended up spending 11 years for a misdemeanor of theft charge. He spent 11 years, with 9 of those years being passed back and forth in between the hold or solitary confinement. The JLS wishes to expose the conditions that they're being submitted to while in prison. They have planned a series of work and labor strikes, peaceful sit-ins, hunger strikes, and boycotts to combat the horrendous conditions that they suffer. They argue that rehabilitation services have been severely neglected and underfunded for years. They argue that people are being overcrowded within their cells, with 4 people to a certain area crowded like chickens within a coop, and it's completely unacceptable. And they also argue that this is prison slavery, as they aren't being paid for their work labor anymore, at least not within the Carolinas specifically, aren't being paid for their labor. Some areas being paid as low as 23 cents an hour for their work. And doing a little history research for this, I found out that a lot of stuff that we use on the daily basis is made within prisons. They're literally corporations that are making these into manufacturing factories. And they make stuff ranging from military weapons to police officer uniforms and whatnot, solar power panels, they make those as well, down to women's lingerie. Manufacturing is a big part of the corporation that is now the prison system in the U.S. 2015 reported that inmate labor produced over $500 million in sales. And in response to this preventable violence, they have been supported with 17 states confirming their participation in the strike, and as well as many organizations coming out to endorse, including the Incarcerated Workers Organization Committee. And what they're asking is for you to show your solidarity and boycotting some of these organizations that benefit, such as Victoria's Secret, JCPenney, Starbucks as well, I believe. And educate and strategize about ways to create actions that can benefit them, because as they see it, they only get the information that can be given to them. And as mainstream media is not covering this at all, the only people that really actually examined what's been going on have been other socialist pages and other socialist papers. So really creating a lot of buzz, creating more visibility for this movement would be great. We're also asking that you create actions that also support them, so we could possibly create action today if we can get some nice suggestions that we can go toward, move forward with. And this strike will take place from August 21st, the anniversary of George Jackson's assassination, to September 9th. I just wanted to go over really quickly the demands that they had, because I did want to make sure that everybody knew what they were, and really just how reasonable that they are. So, their demands are immediate improvements of the conditions of prison and prison policies that recognize the humanity of imprisoned men and women, an immediate end to prison slavery, and all persons imprisoned in any place of detention under United States jurisdiction must be paid the prevailing wage in their state or territory for their labor. The Prison Litigation Reform Act must be rescinded, allowing imprisoned humans a proper channel to address grievances and violations of their rights. That was something I didn't know. I didn't know there was a specific act preventing people from complaining about the conditions they were under. An immediate end to racial overcharging, oversentencing, and parole denials of black and brown humans. The Truth in Sentencing Act and the Sentencing Reform Act must be rescinded so that imprisoned humans have a possibility of rehabilitation and parole, and that no human shall be given life without parole anymore, black and brown humans specifically. An immediate end to racist gang enhancement laws. No imprisoned human shall be denied access to rehabilitation programs at their place of detention because of their label as a violent offender. States' prisons must be funded specifically to offer more rehabilitation services, the reinstatement of Pell Grants to all U.S. states and territories, and the voting rights of all confined citizens to be returned after their service.